So good morning, everyone. I am Suzanne, and I am with Welcoming Wow. I am the founder, and it's business coaching for vacation rental owners. I am here with Malorie Zimmerman, who is going to share with everyone about her vacation rental journey. So Malorie, if you could just tell us a little bit about your vacation rental today, and then also a little bit about your journey that brought you here.
Absolutely. Buckle up. So we are short-term rental owners by accident, I would say. This was not part of a plan that we had. It was not strategic in any sense or fashion. And so we have a little bit of a different perspective because it was entirely by accident, and honestly a happy accident. We found a property we have been looking for a couple years, and we found an incredible property. It looks like a vintage Pizza Hut. So, you know, if you can visualize from the early 80s, the little Pizza Hut looking places, that's exactly what came to mind. We actually only visited the property one time before we put an offer in. So very exciting. It's a beachfront property in Grand Haven, and found out after a couple of weeks that somebody had outbid us on the property, which was very upsetting. Fast forward, long story short, financing fell through and they offered the property to us again. And we put in another offer and it went through. And so February of this year, we found ourselves as homeowners to this beautiful property in West Michigan. And so my husband and I both have jobs, have a family, wanted this property to be for our family and friends to use. When we announced that to our family and friends, we had a lot of requests for booking the property. And so we thought to ourselves, let's just stick this on Airbnb and see what happens. There was no strategy. It was not intentional. I have a public relations and marketing background, work for a public relations agency by day. And so have some experience with promotion and put a description together, slapped it up on Airbnb, and within 2 weeks, we were 90% booked for the entire summer. And so I have to tell you, Suzanne, we made a lot of mistakes and are continuing to learn, but it was not our intention to offer this as an Airbnb. And now that we're in it, I absolutely love it and believe that this will be a long-term situation.
Nice. Yeah, that seems to be the case with a lot of people that enter it and they're like, oh my gosh, I did not know that this would be so wonderful, especially when you have the right mindset.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that, you know, kind of drew me to your property when I found you on Instagram, was the fact that you embraced the whole Pizza Hut, you know, building concept, you know. So I appreciated that you just, because some people try to take their listing and try to like make it better than it is, or something that it's not, if you will. And you just like, were like, nope, this is what it is. So putting it out there.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you could turn back the clock and share a bit of advice with yourself, what would that be?
Slow down. It would be, honestly, I was so excited to offer this property up to random strangers on the internet is really what it is. And I wish I would have. I've joined a couple Facebook groups. And so for anybody that is thinking about starting an Airbnb or is finding some really tricky spaces, there are so many Facebook groups, online communities that offer experience, expertise, folks that have been through this stuff before. So I wish I would have listened first instead of been so excited to just get this property out there and done things a little bit differently. Not that, you know, we made these massive mistakes, but what I would have done is listened first. All of these community members have been doing this. Airbnbs have been in operation for a very long time. I'm brand new. What do I know? And so asking questions to these groups, which I also didn't realize they are global. It is not just Michigan. It is not just US. These folks have properties across the world. And so the experience is incredible. So I wish that I would have just paused, because you also have to realize that right now, Airbnb, and I am not sponsored or promoted by Airbnb in any way, is a really hot setup. People are booking, people are looking for work from home spaces. They're looking for family vacations. We are entering post-pandemic land and they're looking for a break. So our property would have booked no matter what, whether we put it up in February or May. That is exclusive to us because we are a beachfront property in Michigan. For other locations, you have your competitive advantage. But I wish we would have waited and just, instead of ratcheting up our occupancy to 13, we can sleep 16. I thought 13 would be fantastic. Guess what? We have lots of bookings for 13 people, right? So you've got multiple families. So I wish I would have just waited and thought, you know what, is this going to be more comfortable for an 8 to 10 or a 6 to 8? You can't take it back now. So these folks know that, but our draw is the beach. It's not people sitting inside. So they're okay with it, but wish I would have thought that one through a little bit more. And that was really, and also thinking through how long it would really take to take a family, an intended family property and turn it into a rental situation when you don't live in that same city. Significant time.
Okay. So listen and take your time, slow down a little.
Slow down. It's really, I think in this community, it's so easy to get excited. For me, it's about the customer service aspect, welcoming people to this incredible jewel of a property. I mean, it's a Lake Michigan, West Michigan, beautiful home. And I was just excited to let people in on that. They were going to come no matter what. So I should have just pumped the brakes.
Okay. So is there any story behind the name, or was it really just something that came to you one night as far as this is what we're going to call it on Airbnb and Instagram and stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question, Suzanne. So I, like I said, background public relations.
Yeah.
And so we work with a variety of clients and do branding exercises and brainstorms. So it was absolutely not an accident. It was thoroughly intentional. So I did a mini focus group with my family, came up with a handful of names based on a lot of different things. I could go into our research practices, but I used my professional approach to branding because what you are doing with a property is you are branding. You need to stand out in this competitive landscape. And so we came to it because we are at the edge of the water and it's in Michigan. And so the very first thing I did was checked domain names, checked Instagram handles, checked Facebook handles. This was not an accident. If you are going to approach the property from a marketing perspective, those are all things you need to keep in mind. Because if I'm calling it Edgewater Escape, someone else on Instagram had already had that handle. And so because we're in Michigan and you can use MI as a variety of identifiers, my Edgewater Escape was very cute sounding, but I did put it as a vote to our family and that's what was selected. I couldn't even tell you, I do have a list of other names, but you know, for anyone who doesn't have that kind of background and is thinking, I'm not a marketing person, what do I do? The internet is your friend. You can put in generator keywords that can give you names and ideas. So it's not rocket science by any means, but you do need to be able to stand out because you can take that brand and through everything you're doing, note cards, towels, social media, branding on your Airbnb description, it goes a long way.
Yeah. I'm completely with you. And I think you've done a nice job with that. And I appreciate you sharing your thoughts too about marketing and branding, because I completely agree with you. And that's, to me, it's one of the first steps that someone in their vacation rental business journey, should start to think about, because as you said, the branding, the marketing, your website, if you have, want a website, domain name, those types of things, and they should all kind of match that whole theme. So you kind of got to sit down and think about it as a business and not just a lark. I mean, obviously it still works out for people, but it can work much better if they're doing the whole branding and marketing consistently.
Absolutely. And I don't think that, like I said, you don't have to have the significant background in marketing to do it, but we also put together a brand standards guide, again, like professional life bleeding into personal life, but our colors that we use Canva, for example. I would recommend, if you want to get some really professional looking without the learning curve stuff, that's a great tool to use. We have all of our brand standards in Canva, and then can be translated at the click of a button to photo overlays or text or anything like that. We use our welcome book, follows that same theme. And so these little details matter. And when you're checking in as a guest, it is a significant extra touch that, again, if you are a property that is in a saturated market, it's a competitive advantage that, you know, I think goes a long way.
Yeah, I agree. So other than it looking like a vintage Pizza Hut, and being on the Michigan shoreline there, what else would you say is unique about your property?
We have a hot tub that seats, I think it's 13. And so what I would also recommend to folks that are out there, that there's a lot of strong feelings in the Airbnb world about pools, hot tubs, and other special features. But think about it from a guest standpoint. If you are ticking the box, has a hot tub or has a deck, scenic views, city views, whatever, those quantifiers matter. And so for us, our location is this quiet neighborhood and it's small. We have a hot tub in a gazebo that is special. And so when people are coming to the property, you are in a rural area, 10 minutes from a grocery store, but it feels like when you drive in, that it is a really special place. Another feature that is really strange that was not our doing, our driveway is lined with tile. And so it has this strange brickwork. So every little detail about this property has been given significant attention, which guests see when they check in, and it's pretty special.
Nice, thank you. Are you looking to purchase another vacation rental at some point? Or are you like, no, I'm good?
So we, my husband and I both work. So this is this is not a full-time thing for us, but could it be at some point for any, if you were interested in doing this? Probably. People do this full-time. At my point in my life, with very young children and a job and a husband who travels and has a job, I can't imagine. And so for our property too, we are just a summer rental property. We are not offering rentals beyond at this point because of the sheer amount of stress and oversight that it takes to provide good customer service, right? So you've got to think through a cleaner, a handyman, a Airbnb co-host that's on site if you're not in that same city.
Yeah.
Suzanne, I can't imagine at this point investing in another property. It's not out of the question, but this one for now, completely by accident, we're just going to see how it goes.
Sure. So what months are you open?
So we are May, June, July, August, and we are booked May, June, July, and August. And so we've thought through, do we want to do fall rentals? Do we want to do, I mean, because the west coast of Michigan during the fall is so special, and
the leaves.
Yes, but part of our approach also is this is a beach house that we are offering as an Airbnb. This is not an Airbnb that we are using as a beach house. So that's a significant difference, that it's our family property, which also goes a long way too with folks that are checking in. And we have a note in our welcome book that says 5-star guests will be invited to book off platform, which means if we have people that respect our space and really care for it, have special memories, and it means a lot to them, then we can do a direct booking, which a lot of hosts do. And so if they were to come back and say, hey, I want to visit in October for a week, and they were a exceptional guest, absolutely. I mean, we're doing this for relationship building and experience above anything else. So unsure at this point, unsure.
Okay. Now, can anyone book on your direct site, or would you prefer that they first book through Airbnb or something like that?
So the requirement is absolutely have to be a first guest through Airbnb. So Airbnb has a lot of excellent parameters for screening guests. You have to be over a certain age. They have to take your, I believe, your license and be verified. And so we want the experience first to be, we have had folks that stay here and they left the property in great shape. And that would be really our identifier. So,
Okay.
and
So if you
oh, go ahead. Oh, no,
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say, so if you had people who haven't stayed with you before, where do you want to direct them to? If they're watching this video in the future, you want them to go to Airbnb, and then it's
Yep.
MI Edgewater Escape?
So I would say check out our Instagram first. That would be the first. If you are looking at properties on the beach in Michigan, I mean, there are thousands from South Haven up to Traverse City for summer rentals. So I would say you can really get a feel for what the property looks like on our Instagram page first. It's a little less formal. We have a little bit more fun. So that is MI Michigan, MI Edgewater Escape is our handle. And, you know, we've got some fun things and inside stories to, for example, getting 6 bags of rocks from Lowe's and you really needed 30. And so they can check it out, I think, better that way. And that you can go directly to our Airbnb page from Instagram.
Perfect. So then one last question for you, and that was, when I was looking at your Instagram site, one of the things also that drew me in is you have a unique offering for your guests in that you offer them additional items that they can purchase. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So we are partnering with an organization that offers marketing and luxury products inside short-term rentals. And so again, this is my professional life bleeding over into my personal life, that product placement and feeling a certain way when you're on vacation encourages folks to try different things, or be more open to something that they might not consider if they're inside of a store. And so for us, the benefit is we get to offer these products at a discount to our guests. For our guests, there is no hook. It is simply, you see, for example, a lovely blanket that is made out of bamboo that is so luxe and plush and amazing. And this blanket somewhere else is hundreds of dollars. But here you can actually sleep with it. You can try it. You can feel it. You can see it in person. You can go to the beach, come back and take a nap. And if you want, you can take your cell phone and you can scan the QR code and purchase that blanket at a discount. And so the company that we are partnering with, they in turn partner with a variety of brands who offer these products to hosts. And so it's a relatively new concept, but I mean, imagine checking into a rental where you have exercise equipment, you have snacks, you have blankets and linens and towels, and you get to try them for free and purchase them at a discount. It's genius. And so something that's just a special touch for our guests that you're not going to see at other properties, free to them to try and experience.
Wonderful. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, genius. So it's definitely something I think people can look into for themselves if they want to just set themselves, above their competition just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say competitive advantage wise for folks that have properties in these very saturated markets, we see a lot in the host community of, why am I not booking Memorial Day weekend? Why do I have these orphan days? And then, the recommendation is, what are you offering that's going to set you apart? Especially if you are in an urban area, or like us, a rural area that is specifically seasonal. So it's just something to keep in mind. And again, the internet is your friend for folks that are like, how do I do this? Google will take you a very long way. And I actually came across the company that we're partnering with on Instagram. It was an ad. And I was very skeptical. I was like, what do you mean you can apply for products? And now here we are with thousands of dollars worth of products at no cost to us in our short-term rental.
That's awesome. So any last words of advice for people, vacation rental owners who will view this?
I would say act as if you are operating with a lot of revenue, and act as if you are having a lot of years of experience, and the confidence will take you a long way, and lean on that community of folks that have been through it. A lot of advice that was given to me that I think through is 99% of your guests are going to be fantastic. You hear horror stories, and like I said, we're doing this for relationships, and so 99% of your guests are going to be fantastic. And just lead with confidence in whatever you're doing.
That is great advice. I do appreciate that. And thank you so much for joining today and having this interview with us. And I look forward to, people watching and seeing you and your wisdom. And then also hopefully in the future, it might even be able to get some more guests over to your place there in Michigan. So I appreciate it so much, Malorie.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.